Live from the WCTV studios, this is the Good Morning Show. Coverage you can count on.
Straight ahead this morning, a police chase that started off in South Georgia ends right here in Tallahassee. 2 men are now behind bars. We've got the latest. Plus, a Valdosta police officer is being disciplined for his actions after a video shows him in a heated exchange with some residents. What police are saying happened. And if you love fine arts, the Lemoyne's Chain of Parks Art Festival is the place for you to be this weekend. We'll hear from one artist who says her goal is to inspire other artists to give it a try. And speaking of inspiring, that weather may inspire you to either stay inside or maybe get outside. What is it kind of inspiring us to do here, Brittany?
It's inspiring us to be prepared because a few of us still have to deal with a few showers.
Right.
We've been in that unsettled pattern. It's still cloudy outside for most of the area, and even a few showers.
Straight ahead on the news at 10, a man is found dead along the railroad tracks in Madison County. The latest on that investigation. Plus, just weeks after a tragic accident in Lake Talquin, leaders are enforcing new rules for boat ramps to make sure the same thing doesn't happen again. And a local veteran has plenty to be excited about, including a new home. We'll show you the exact moment he and his family received their key. Garcia has been arrested for a 2014 murder that rocked the city of Tallahassee. He's accused in the murder of FSU law professor Dan Markell. Garcia was arrested last night at a gas station at Hallandale Beach. That's in Broward County. It's also nearly 500 miles from the scene of the murder. Police say Markell was targeted, shot in the head, all while sitting in his car in the garage of his Benton Hills home. At a press conference today, TPD thanked the FBI for its help and said Garcia would soon be brought back to Tallahassee to face charges.
Anytime someone is injured or murdered, it affects us all. It's an atrocity and should not be happening in our community. It does bring us satisfaction, but again, it will never ever take the horror away of losing a family member.
TPD would not comment today on a motive for the murder or what led to Garcia's arrest nearly 2 years later. The chief announced court papers with those details have been sealed by a judge and said the investigation is not yet over. Meanwhile, Markell's neighbors are relieved by Garcia's arrest. Our Alicia Turner got a chance to speak with some of them today.
Thanks so much, Brittany. 2 men are behind bars after a police chase crosses the Florida-Georgia line. It all started in Thomas County yesterday afternoon. Deputies chased the suspects into Leon County and caused them to crash on North Meridian Road near Bannerman Road. This is exclusive video from the scene. Thomas County deputies say it all started when the car fled a traffic stop. Both men inside the car wound up being arrested, and we were there as they were put in handcuffs. One faces charges of driving without a license. The other had a warrant for petty theft. The driver, 28-year-old Carlos Garcias, was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The passenger, 24-year-old Christopher Colick, was taken
in the
to
death
jail.
investigation of a Blountstown woman who died at the Calhoun Liberty Hospital. Good afternoon, I'm Sean DeKnight.
And I'm Art Myers. The police officer involved in 57-year-old Barbara Dawson's arrest will not face charges in the case. That ruling coming from the state attorney for the 14th Judicial Circuit, Glenn Hess. Dawson was arrested in December, you remember, and put in handcuffs after refusing to leave the hospital, saying she did not feel well enough to leave. Now, she collapsed in the parking lot and died later that morning. Hess says that Officer John Tadlock's actions were appropriate under the circumstances and there was no criminal law.
An emotional day for students, faculty, and staff at Sable Palm Elementary School. Students taking the time to remember a teacher and 2 classmates killed in a fire. It's been a little more than a month since Rajame Scott and her 2 daughters, Anisha and Anaya, died in their home on Byington Place in Tallahassee. Earlier today, Sable Palm dedicated a memorial garden to the family. Our Lenitra Bennett has the story.
Well, unanswered questions remain in Wednesday's El Patron shooting in Tallahassee. One of those questions, if the restaurant was over capacity at the time. Officers speculate a few hundred people were inside. Well, we spoke to the owner of El Patron, who told us the capacity is set at 174. The staff also uses a wristband system to handle large crowds. The owner says that the capacity issue will no longer be a concern because the restaurant will no longer host special events. And speaking of gun violence, a key police group is supporting open carry legislation in Florida with one condition. The state's Police Chiefs Association voted to back the bill if changes to protect cops were included. Those changes include proposed fines and clarifications to the law. Legislators will consider the bill and those amendments.
No, you ain't gonna talk to me like that. You understand me? I think you're getting too close.
Yeah,
well, I don't give a what you think I'm fitting to do.
That is an excerpt from a video that is getting lots of clicks online. The video, which was posted April 13th to YouTube, shows a detective with the Valdosta Police Department confronting people about a search of their home. Now that detective is facing disciplinary action. Abby Walton joins us with the details.
All right,
on
guys,
that.
there will be a lot of cookouts going on this Memorial Day weekend, and for a lot of us, we enjoy a good steak. I know I do. But the question is, do you know how to pick and season it? Joining me now to give us a few tips is a grill master. Yes, those people exist. Preston Coangelo. Thank you so much for being here, Preston.
Thank you for having me.
So you got steaks in front of me, which is probably not a good idea, but there's a way to pick a cut and there's also a way to season it. So tell me about that.
Yeah, it's Memorial Day, so every Memorial Day we like to do this grilling hotline by going to call 855-LH Grill, and you can go there tomorrow 11 to 5, and we have grilling tips for those that are intimidated by a grill, which is not uncommon this time of year. So
Definitely.